and input and output. In output, we learned all the methods, and in input techniques, we learned how to accept input from query string and how to accept input from prompt. That is two basic things. What is difference between them? Query string is accepting input from the address bar. From browser address bar, user can pass a value. And a prompt will pop up, same like alert and confirm, from where user can input. But these are not enough. Generally, to handle input, that means user have to input different types of values like number, string, booleans and all. Then we can use form elements for input. We can use form elements for input. Generally, form input elements, we have like text box, checkbox, radios and all this. So HTML form provides various input elements from where user can input a value. Various input elements from where user can input any value. So we have to collect data from those elements and we use those elements. So we will see some example. We can accept input from any type of element. We can take input from different types of elements. Let's see how to do that. First, what is the technique is from which element they input, we have to collect value from that and we need to display. Let's create one simple one we will create. Suppose we will design input like some different elements. So I will create one page like some inox.html something. In this page, we are creating some toolbar here, some inox. So this is inox, some movies, something. And here I am using link relation style sheet, href, node modules, bootstrap, dist css, bootstrap.css. I will link relation style sheet, href, node modules, bootstrap icons, css. And in the body container fluid, here we put a script, zip source node modules jQuery dist jQuery JS. We learned that to use complete bootstrap, we need all these files. Huh? To use complete bootstrap, we need the script files and we need CSS. So node modules, bootstrap, dist JS, bootstrap bundle.js. These are the options required. And here I'm creating a simple header or div and a class margin top 3. And we have a button, some quick booking. So class BTN and BTN danger. So this is a simple button we are having. This is the original size. Yep. Now let's say Inox movies. And here you can see I want to design a drop down like this. A drop down like this. We want to design a drop down like that. And in that drop down, usually we will display some movies. You see, you have a movie. And here you have cinema. When user selects any movie and it will show the cinema. Roughly, we will put some cinemas and some date. So, and some timing and some seats like this. And user clicks book. So whatever user inputs, we need to collect. And we need to display summary. That means what user is entering, we have to collect and we have to display the summary. So that means here input is going on through only one element because all are what? Drop downs. From drop downs, user will input and we need to collect. It's very simple because all are drop downs. We have to collect the value from there. Let's create that one here first. So when user clicks on this quick booking button, we will pop up a dialog. Then we will put it as a model. We will put it as a fade. And this model have an ID, some book like this. So this model will have, hierarchy, how to create a model. Model is a bootstrap pop-up. In the model, we will create a class model dialog. And model, I will keep it as full screen. Okay. Then we have model content. In that, we have model header. In the header, we are just keeping a heading. So quick booking something. And we will put a button class BTN and BTN close. It is BTN close directly. So data BS dismiss is equal to model. You know how to design, right? Models already we discussed how to design the model. So here in that model after header, I will create a div and we will use a model body. In the model body, we will have a div. And in this div, class padding 2. And we will keep some BG dark, something like this. Or normal is enough. Later we will put the color. And here we have div, we have a drop down. Say in the drop down, we have an option, and we have like select movie. That is the option we are having. So in this, we have an option like some open hammer. So that is the movie we have defined. Oppenheimer. Right. Okay. This is one movie. Another one is another option, some Barbie. Like this we define. So these are the movies we are having. Okay. This is one drop down. I will copy another div. And this div have a drop down. This is select cinema. Suppose here I am doing cinema as some, so hills, something like this. And here we have some Amir Pet, something like this. We have another option. This is a select date. Here we have like today and 27 July. And we have like tomorrow, that is 28 July, like this. So, and we have another one. This is select time. I defined some 10:30 a.m. So I defined some 11, some p.m. like this, like we have. And another one, we have like select seats. It's just a number we are having. 1. So we have like 2. So we have like 3. Like this we are adding. Okay. After that, another div. And here we have button. This button will have textbook. And class BTN and BTN danger. All these are present in a container. And this container we will give deflex, justify content between. Okay. And these are the options we are having. That's enough. Now on this button click, it should open. So we are giving data BS toggle. Toggle is what? Model. Data BS target. Target is what? Hash book. That is the option. Now when user clicks on this quick booking, then it will open a pop-up like this. And close, it is going to close. So we will keep all the drop downs as form select. All drop downs will have a class form select. That is a bootstrap class. For drop down, we will give form select. Okay. Now you can see quick booking, it display like this. We have a movie to select. We have a cinema to select. We have a date to select. We have time to select, and we have seats. Now we say book. Now this should close and it should display the summary. Summary of what they selected. Just like in this website, I click on book, then it will show a summary like this. Suppose like they show a summary like this. So like this, a summary is there, booking summary. Like this, I want to display some booking summary. Just that part, that means which cinema, which date, which show time they selected. I want to display that. So including this image, we want to display that image. Then we will do one thing. We will copy the images of those. I will take a snipe tool, new. This is the image. This part I will select and let's save this. We are saving in our project folder. In public, in images, this is some Oppenheimer. Okay, just open, save. Another one, take this one and copy this part. And let's save this and say Barbie. Okay. These are the images we are having. Let's do close. Now, when user clicks the book button, then this window should close. We are showing on a new screen, complete new screen. That window should close. Then what we do is, on book button also, we write for this book button also data BS dismiss. Dismiss what? Model. But one extra work to be done, and that extra work is on click of that book button, it should collect all the data and display. That means we have to write an event for that button on click. On click, book click. Okay. We will, that means it will do two things. It will close the window and it will do some functionality. What is that functionality? We will write. Let's go to the script. So we are writing a script and type text JavaScript. That, and here we have a function. What is it? Book click. Okay. On this function, we have to collect the data from all drop downs. If we have to collect data from all drop downs, how you will collect? All are drop downs only. I cannot use query selector. Query selector because select means all are select only. Then we will put a unique ID for everyone. So ID for this is, we will put some OPT movie. That is option movie. Generally, I already told you so many times, when we are naming in variables, we will discuss those rules also. When you give names, usually as per the tradition, you can give any name. As per the project traditions, you have to maintain a camel case. That's very important. That is project rule. If you write however you want, they will throw that code on your face. In companies, they will say that from where you learned, who taught you JavaScript. While you are trying at home, you do anything, whatever you want. But in a real world project, once you start showing your skills, they start kicking you out. So they don't want your ideas there. You have to follow certain standards. And in every project documentation, officially they will mention. They mention officially that use camel case for this. There are so many. We have camel case. We have Pascal case. We have like kebab case, like that. There are so many types of concepts we will see. We will discuss about them. That means they will mention that for variables, use a camel case. For class names, use a Pascal case. And for something else, use something case. They will mention that. You have to follow exactly the standards, because they written test cases for them. And once your code goes for testing, it will throw the code out because it is having all errors. Errors means is not according to the standards. So camel case means it starts with small letters, will have a uppercase letter, and again it will start in lowercase. That is a camel case technique. And in camel case, prefix tells what element it is. Prefix tells what element it is. And the suffix tells for what purpose it is. That means prefix will tell what element it is, like txt. That means it is a text box. So text box for username, or text box for age, or text box for price, like that. Suppose it is a button, then we have a prefix btn. btn for submit, btn for cancel. That is the tradition. That means any software developer can see the name and tell what it is. Is it a button? Is it a text box? And for what purpose it is? Suppose if you say, so generally, if you write like id is equal to my element, right? Then what is your element? Right? Because some people have an habit of using word my project, my element, right? That means you don't want to give to others, only yours. Huh? And software companies don't want your element or your contents. So everybody have this habit, my project. So your personal project, then do at your home, right? So the point is, these are all naming standards. You have to follow them, right? So generally, all these are camel cases. That is a basic tradition I'm following here. This is OPT for option, drop downs list box. We use OPT. Then this is ID, that is OPT what? Cinema. Okay. And this is OPT ID. This is OPT date. And here ID OPT time. And here we have ID OPT seats. Okay. From where to collect, we know. Now where to display? Where to show the result? For that, we will create another div. This div will have class W25, some margin top 4, BG dark, not entire div. Okay, this div is there. We have a heading, and this is booking summary. And here it is having class BG dark, text white, text center, like this. And below this, we will keep a data list in data term. So we will have, so like movie, and data definition. Here I will put an ID as LBL movie. LBL movie means label. Label for displaying any message. Usually, label is a element which is used for displaying message. It will not allow to modify, just it will show some message. So I'm using that LBL. Okay. Another one is cinema. And here ID is LBL cinema. So we have another is what? Date. And ID is LBL date. We have time and ID is LBL time. And here we have another one, seats. So data definition ID is LBL seats. Okay, you need one image also. First here, I will keep an image. So width is some 200, height also 200. ID as IMG poster. That is the image. Usually, so we have some border as one. Okay. Generally, it will display like this. That is the booking summary. We are having booking summary and these details. Now, what we want is the movie name, cinema, date, all these I want to display side by side. Then we will use class as row. You know that it will put a grid. Class as what? Call 3. Call 2. Call 2 or 2 is enough. Yeah. All terms will be using how many columns? 2. All terms will be using 2 columns. Okay. All definitions will be using call 10. All definitions will be using column 10. All definitions will be using column 10. That column 10, so that we can keep them side by side. Okay, that is fine. Anything else we need to do? This is enough. Say movie, cinema, date, time, seats, all will come. And below that image, I will keep here a button. So this class BTN and BTN link, and it is modify booking. Okay. It looks like this. Modify booking is a button. Now what should happen is this should not display. This should not display until I click book. That means where is this div? This is the div which is having all the booking summary. I will keep this div an ID as book. I will say as summary container. Okay. This summary container will have a style, will have a display as what? None. So it is not going to show it. When to show? So when user clicks on the button and when user clicks on book, then it should display. And this button should be hidden. This button should be hidden. So this will have an ID, BTN container, button container. We have a booking summary container and button container. Now what should happen on book click? On book click first, it should hide button container. How to access button container? Document dot get element by ID BTN container. How to hide? Is div having any hide attribute? It's not having any hide attribute. We have to apply some style. So dot style. Dot style. Which style? Display style. So dot display. What should be the value of display? Equal to display is what? None. That's it. That means we are accessing that container and we are applying a style dynamically to it. And what is that style? Display. We set it to none. Okay, what is next? The next is we have to display the summary container. We have to display the summary container. So how? Document dot get element by ID. What it is? Summary container dot style dot display is equal to what? Block. We have display inline, display block, display inline block. So many are there you can use. Block will come below, right? Yeah. That is the first thing we are doing. Okay. Quick booking. User will select something here. After that, user is going to input the value from here and click on book. Then it will close and it will display. That means it will close that container and display this container. And important is when user clicks modify booking, again it should come. So where is modify booking? So here again we have to use data BS toggle. Toggle is model. Data BS target hash what? Book. That is the model. So we click on quick booking, select something and say book, then automatically it is added. And I click modify booking, it will open again. Right? Modify booking, it will open again. Here, so much work is there, we will do that. First, we are able to toggle the elements, open, close these elements and fine. Now what we need to do here is on book click, extra work is whatever value entered in this drop down, we have to collect. And we have to display beside this data definition. Beside that data term, there is a data definition. In that we have to display. That means what we do, collect the value from drop down and display in data definition. What is the data definition ID? LBL movie. It should contain the value coming from where? Coming from OPT movie. From OPT movie, whatever value is there, it should come here. So I will go here and I will write a simple straightforward logic. Where to display, what to display. We want to display in a data definition. How to access document, get element by ID. What is the data definition? LBL movie. LBL movie is a container. Data definition is a container. In that, how you will display? We have inner text or we have inner HTML according to format you want to display. Okay. What value you want to display? The value coming from drop down. How to collect the drop down? Document dot get element by ID OPT what? Movie. In that OPT movie, that is a drop down. Drop down option, its value we have to select. You remembered, actually, drop down contains an option and every option contains 4 properties. It have text, it have value, it have selected, and it have disabled. Remember, no? Every option in HTML dropdown contains 4 properties: text, value, selected, disabled. Now important is text is value what is shown to you, and value is the value what is submitted. Submitted value you have to collect and you have to use it. That means now for this drop down, we have to access dot what value. Drop down value is nothing but its option value, which option value they selected. If option is not defined with value, its text will be used as value. For option, if you don't define any value, its text will be used as value, right? Okay. Next, others also same. That means now document get element by ID. LBL what? Cinema. Dot inner HTML. Document get element by ID OPT cinema. Dot value. Document get element by ID LBL date. Dot inner HTML. Document get element by ID OPT date. Dot value. Document get element by ID LBL time. Dot inner HTML. Document dot get element by ID, that is OPT time. Dot value. Document get element by ID LBL seats. Dot inner HTML. Get element by ID OPT seats. Dot value. That's how we define. But here still poster is remaining. We need to display image. Values we are bringing and displaying. That's fine. We have to display image. That means now later you will learn reusability. How to reuse the code, how to rewrite instead of rewriting the code, techniques you will learn. So initially we need to display image. Image we need to display in IMG poster. In this IMG poster we want to display. So, and it is not standard, it is changing. So what I will do is I will collect here, one is movie name. How to collect the movie name? Document get element by ID OPT movie dot what value. Okay. And I will collect IMG poster. Document get element by ID IMG poster. Okay. Or simply I will just give the poster or anything name you can give. Actually, these are variables. Later we will learn about variables. So the movie name is stored here, and this is not the image path, that is just only image element, IMG element. So remember, it is an element. It is what kind of element? It is an image. Now we will write a condition here. If movie name is equal to, so we have movie name as Oppenheimer. So if movie name is Oppenheimer, so that is the movie name na? Hammer. Oppenheimer. Okay, that is. If movie name is this, what should be? IMG poster dot src. IMG poster src dot slash public slash images slash open dot jpg. Open dot jpg. That image should display. Otherwise, we have only two images, so I am using else. Otherwise, there is another technique we will see. Otherwise, IMG poster dot src, it should be public, in that images, in that Barbie dot jpg. That's the image we need to display. That is the condition we have to give. If movie name is this, then display this image. Okay, so you see, we already have those images there. We have the image open JPG and Barbie JPG. Okay. Now let's run this and see now. I click on quick booking. I select a movie as Oppenheimer and cinema, and I selected date. I selected some time. I selected some seats, and I selected some book, and those details will come. It is accessing the details and displaying the details. And when I click on modify booking, it will get the details here. And I will select some other movie, some other theater. So, and say book, and it should get the display. That means it will display that. And important here, there are a lot of work we can do. So that means depending on width, height, you see, adjust the gap and all these things. This data list, where is this data list and data term? Yeah, this data list, data term we have kept here. We can keep one below another, one beside another, put more gap if you want. You can adjust that. Here one technique, one important is when user clicks modify, this button should change to update, not book, because you are modifying. First time it will be book, but the second time it is not book. That means second time this button should change from book to update because you are changing. It should change to update. So we will write a logic for this modify booking button. And we have to access this book button. This is the button we are having. This is book button. How to access book button? The book button ID. We will put book button ID. ID is BTN book. Okay. On this button click. Which button click? Modify button click. Where is that modify? So we have a modify button here, right? On this modify button click, on click, we write modify click. We will write a function here. We will write a function here, a function as modify click. This is modify click. On modify click, we have to collect the button and change its value. So document dot get element by ID BTN book. It is a HTML5 button. Last session we saw HTML4 button, input type as button. To display anything inside, we have value. But HTML5 button is a container. Container just like a div. What difference we discussed about HTML4 and 5 buttons? We learnt about form. There we discuss a difference between HTML5 and 4. What is difference? Difference between HTML4 button and HTML5 button. Opening books, huh? So we discussed about HTML4 is RC data type. That means we cannot have images. You cannot have symbols. Value is RC data type. But HTML5 can have images, anything. It's a container, it's a div. Then inside it, inner HTML. Any container inside you want to display, then it is inner HTML. Inner HTML is what we will use the word. What is the word? Update. Inner HTML, we say update. We can even change colors, effects also for them if we want. Suppose I want to change the appearance from red to yellow, like warning style. Then what we do? Document get element by ID. What it is? btn book dot class name. Class name means CSS class name. CSS class name btn and btn warning. These are the CSS class names we are applying. Actually, in HTML, the word is class, but in JavaScript, we have to give class name. Why? Because in JavaScript already there is a class word which is used in OOP concept. That's the reason we have to use here class name. That means CSS class name. I will save this now and let's see. I say quick booking. Initially it is book only. I will select a movie. I select cinema. I select here date. I select time. I select seats. I select book. Then it is going to display the details like this. And I click on modify booking. I click on modify booking. Then it will show update now. The button is changed to update. Now I am changing the theater or changing the date or changing the seats, something. I click on update or changing the movie and click on update. Then it will display those new details. What we selected, those new details will come. So that is a simple concept of taking input from user. And for this, what we have done, we used only drop downs. By using drop downs, you have to define. Now, the question here is, see, lot of logic we written, means lot of design. If you ask like, is there any shortcut for this? This is the best possible shortcut. We can reduce 3-4 lines with reusability, but design you cannot reduce. This is how we have to write. And don't think this is a complex example. This is just beginning of JavaScript, right? It is just, even you don't even entered into JavaScript. You are just learning input output. And don't think that this is the biggest example you have seen. It is the beginner's example. And it is just related to input and output. Now, JavaScript has so many more things with more complex logics. All these days, you people have learned in an entertainment way. Colors, size, font, photos. Now, for that, you don't need much brain. Now you have to use. All these days, people come for every concept. Sir, this is doubt, that is doubt. From JavaScript onwards, nobody comes to me. Even if I say come, he will escape and go away. Up to JavaScript, people are very excited because there is no programming logics. They are very excited. And everything they come, sir, this is not working, that is not working, this is doubt, that is doubt. This is doubt. From JavaScript, nobody comes. They don't dare to come. Why? Because logic. And if you have practiced these logics perfectly, This is where the interviewers need to check you. That means first they check your logical skills, then they check your presentation skills. First priority is this. Second priority is design. Because in UI development, design also important, functionality also important. That means they will test design only when they think you are capable of coding. Right? That means without testing coding skills, they will not test your design skills. Even you are great in designing, and if you fail in your coding, that means you failed your interview. So that's the reason these you cannot take it easy. You have to practice very well. Right? And it is not very tough. It's a very simple programming. There is nothing complex. Because we will learn everything here from basic level. So it is easy to handle. There is nothing complex. It becomes complex if you don't follow daily. Because every day such huge examples come, then you don't practice. After 3-4 days, you can't handle it anymore. That is the reason you need to be up to date in practicing. Right? And we will do some questions. We will see some questions and we will see how interviews they ask, the programs and all. So we can make this little short in logical wise by adding some more concepts that you will see later. But design, I can't do anything. Na? Design means you have to do all this. Only logic you can little bit reduce. For that, we need some more techniques you can understand. Initially, this is one example. I will copy this. This is the example to show how to handle input using elements. Inox, movies. This is an example. Now, in this example, I haven't used different controls. I used only one control. What is that control we have used here? Drop downs, only drop downs. Okay, let's design another one where we can have some more controls like text box, check box, like that. Later you will see radios and all. So many examples you will come across. Let's create another example for that. So I am taking another one. And let's say in JavaScript, say form input, HTML. Okay, let's create. And here I will put only, so this is form input. We will have a link, relation style sheet, href node modules, bootstrap, this CSS, bootstrap.css. Okay. Link relation is style sheet, href node modules, bootstrap icons, font icons.css, and class container fluid. And here we will add some script. So this is node modules, bootstrap, jQuery first, because for scripts order is important. First jQuery, then you can add bootstrap JS, dist.js, bundle.js. And here just I given a div, class btn, this is margin top, and we have a button. So here I say register product, I say some add product, something like this, add product, and let's put the class btn success. Okay, this is a simple option we are having. And when user clicks on add product, it should show a pop-up. In that it should ask product name, price, stock available or not, like that. Let's take 3-4 controls here now. And for that, I will create a container here, and it will have a class model, fade, and ID as some register. That is the ID. This model is having class model dialog, and we have a class model content. This is a model dialog centered. Yeah. And we have a div, and this is class model header. And in the heading, we will have some register product. And here we are configuring some button also. So class BTN close and data BS toggle. Dismiss model. Okay. And here we are having the class model body. In the model body, we are having a simple data list, data term, some name. And we have a text box, input type is equal to text. Its ID is txt name. Another data term, and we will put some class form controller, right? And we have price. So input type is equal to number and ID as txt price. Class as form control. Okay. Another we have stock. Stock, I will give here a data definition. Input type is equal to checkbox. Class form check input. And here we have a label, form check label. And here we have like available. And this is having class form switch. Form switch is a switch like checkbox. Huh? And we have another term shipped to, that is actually city. And this checkbox also needs an ID. ID is OPT stock. Okay. And or we say CHK stock checkbox na. And this is having a drop down. In this we have a option Delhi, and we have an option Hyderabad, like this. Here we have option like class form select. Fine. This is all in the form. This time form is not having only one type of element. We kept some different. Later we will see radios and others also, right? Here what we used, input type text, input type number, input type checkbox. Another one is drop down. Okay, so this is body. And we have a div class model footer. In this we have a button. So suppose register. So class BTN and BTN. So some primary. And we have another button. So class BTN and BTN cancel. BTN danger and say cancel. We just have these options like. Cancel is nothing but we have data BS dismiss what model. Okay, so when I click on add product, it should display this one. So we need to write add product, click na. So we have to use data BS target hash register data BS toggle. Toggle is what? Model. Okay. And add product, it will display a form like this. Here we can enter the product name. So we can enter the product price. We can enter the stock available or not. We can select a city shipped to. And after entering these details, you click on register or add or something. Then it should collect all the data and display. And to display, we have to put another container where to display all these details. If you want to display in a new screen, you can use document write and all. Here on cancel, it is cancelled. Okay. Now what we will do is, this is class, ID. ID is a BTN container, button container. Okay. And below this, we will create another container. The class is details container. In details container, we want to display the details of the product they entered. This time I am keeping a heading product details. I will use a table here. Previously, I already used a data list. Here I am using table, class table. So table hover, something like this I am defining. In this table, and I will say table dark like this. In this table, we have directly a row. In that first cell contains name. In the second cell, it contains ID. ID is LBL name. I want to display the name there. I am creating another row. In that, here we have price. And another cell ID as LBL price. Another row, in that we have stock. And another cell ID as LBL stock. Another row and ID here as some shipped to. And here we have cell ID as LBL city. Okay. For this drop down, we haven't given city name. For this, we need an ID. ID as OPT what? City. Okay. Now we need to display all the details here. This container is having a table actually. That container is having a table. So W25. Table looks like this. Now we don't want this table to display by default. Details container will have a style display as what? None. Okay. And when user clicks on register, I need to do that. Register on click. We have register click. So we have to write the function here. Let's write a script. In the script, we have the type text JavaScript. So, and here we need to define function register click. On register click, we need to collect the value coming from the text boxes and all and display. All are easy. Only one problem is at checkbox. Because when checkbox is on, it should say stock available. If it is off, then it should say out of stock. That is only the logic. Others are simple, straightforward. Others we can collect easily. What? document get element by ID, LBL name dot inner HTML. It is a table cell. Table cell also will have inner HTML. What should display? Document get element by ID, txt name dot value. That is nothing but text box value. Similarly, document get element by ID, LBL price inner HTML. Document get element by ID, txt price dot value. Okay. Document get element by ID, LBL city dot value. Inner HTML. Document get element by ID, OPT city dot value. All these are fine. But checkbox is important. That means you see add product. I entered some name and I selected some price. I selected some city. Because for this, I haven't written any logic yet. Click on register. It should display that. But on register, it should close also. We are not closing it. What to do for closing? On this register click, what we have to do? Data BS dismiss. Dismiss what? Model. Okay. Now I click on add product. I entered some details. I selected some price and click on register. It should display that. To display, we have to show that details container. How to show the details container? Here we need to add one more logic. One is document dot get element by ID, btn container dot style dot display. It should be what? None. Details container should display. That means document get element by ID, details container dot style dot display should be what? Block. So that makes perfect here. Add, I entered the name, I entered some price, I selected a city and register, it should get and display. So here, one more point is where it is displaying some error is there here. Let's check the error. Null for reading the style. That means some problem in the spelling of details container. What is that container name we given? Details container. It is class I given. We have to give an ID. ID na? Yeah. Okay. Now I click add product. I entered details. I selected the price and click on register. Those details will come. But stock is not coming. That is only the thing we need to add here, stock. And the stock usually depends on what? Stock generally depends on checkbox selected or not. Checkbox selected or not. So what we will do, we will go to the logic. First, we will collect stock checkbox. How to collect stock checkbox? Document get element by ID, chk stock. That is checkbox. After that, I will declare another variable. Stock status is actually empty. That means stock status is empty. Nothing is present. If stock checkbox dot checked, you know that checkbox have a checked property. Checked means selected, true or false it is having. Already we know radios and checkboxes are identified as selected by using checked. If it is checked, then stock status should display as available. Otherwise, what should be the stock status? Else, stock status should display what it is? Out of stock. And this stock status should display in the last stock cell. Document get element by ID, LBL what? stock inner HTML, we display stock status. Stock status will be displayed there. So we are accessing the stock status and displaying. Stock status depends on whether checkbox selected or not. Now it looks okay. See, add product. I entered some details. I entered some price and city, and the stock is selected. Then register, then it will display available. And same, we can add modify, we can update. So many things are same concept. So currently we don't have any modify. Under this table, we will put a div with a button as modify. So class BTN and BTN link. And here data BS target. Target is hash register. Data BS toggle. Toggle is what? Model. Okay. If you want, you can add function. On that function, collect the register button and change the button as save or update like options. Now you see here, add product. I am adding some name. I am adding some price. I am selecting city. Stock is not selected. Stock is not selected, register, it says out of stock. And I click modify, and here stock is selected and registered, then it is available. And important, when I click modify, this button should not be register anymore. It should be save or update or something. I hope you can change it. Will you try? One line, we have to collect the button, just like I done the previous. Collect the button ID and inner HTML put as save. And put some value. You have to write on click of what? Modify. For modify, you have to write on click and change this to save. That's enough. This is a basic example of how we can handle input from the user. This time we are using form input elements and designing. This is another example. These are the two basic examples of how to handle input. Later, you will see so many other elements coming. Radios, list boxes, check boxes list. So many, we will see them. So in JavaScript, there are three input techniques. Through query string and through form input, another one prompt. That depends on situation we use, and different output techniques we have seen. This is enough for today, right? First, you need to practice this. Then once you're good with this, then tomorrow we will start into the language now. JavaScript language. That means variables, data types, operators, statements, functions, all these language basics will come. With the language basics, we can do more with JavaScript. That we will see in tomorrow's session. Okay.